Hey folks, Vortex here and welcome to my review of the Kbear Pecker. Yes, that is the name. Not what I would have picked, but anyway, as usual, full disclaimer is I'd like to thank Keep Hi-Fi for sending me this sample to try, so thank you very much. I was not paid to do this video and all thoughts and opinions are my own. These are a hybrid, so it's a one dynamic driver, two balanced armatures per side. And yeah, let's just get into it. So mine are meant to be the silver version, so silver no mic. Specs, so Pecker, again a name that I would not have picked, but 16 ohm impedance, TBA 1DD, sensitivity, TFZ pins, so that's a bit different. And yeah, even some UK info there. So they look pretty cool. So Kbear, they're normally on the more affordable. They also got TRI. I've tried a couple from Kbear in the past and they've been okay. So let's have a look at these. They look fine. So you can see BA's there and the DD there. So there's nothing in the nozzle, which is good. You can see there's no wires. Build quality seems fine. See it there, it's a better look. The Pecker. So it comes with two pairs of tips already on and then another two there. They look kind of the same. Looks the same kind of tip. But a paperwork, a user guide, which is just basically common sense. And yeah, let's see what the cable's like. He did say the TFZ or TFZ pin type. So yeah, you can see. Right angle connector seems to get on the cheaper side, but it might be fine. Obviously after this clip I'll unravel it and have a good look. So yeah, pretty straightforward. These are a budget hybrid set. Look fine, but comfort should be okay. There's no funny lip or anything like that. So anyway, yeah, so I'll see you guys in the future after I've spent a bunch of time with it, and yeah, I'll see what they're like. So yeah, so welcome to my review section of the Kbear Pecker. Yeah, and that is the name. But it goes with their kind of lineup. They use bird names. So lark is another one. So I can kind of understand why, but it has another method, shall we say, there's another meaning. But anyway, this is the cable it comes with, obviously being on the cheaper side. See, right angle connector, as you can see what it looks like. Now, there is an issue with this cable. So obviously, this is the left unit. It states there L. There, just see it. You can see it's from the shape. It is the left unit. On the connector there, it also says L. Just about to see it there. There. But when I played audio, the right channel comes through this. So I noticed this. I was just watching something on YouTube, and something was moving from right to left. But on my ears, I heard it go from left to right. I thought, that's weird. And by that point, I haven't graphed it. I was just a bit of casual usage. And then when I did graph it, it was right. So using the stock cable, the channels was backwards. Hopefully this is just my unit, but if it's more, that's one thing they need to check. But yeah, that's the cable, nothing special. So I was going to mention build quality. Build quality is actually fine. The QC obviously isn't, but obviously you'll see the graphing a bit and they do match well enough with the drivers. So let's just take these off. So you can have a closer look. So here's the right unit. If the camera to focus, you can see the brand there, Kbear. Now these are priced at I think 30 to 35, that kind of price point. And yeah, nothing special. The build quality is technically fine. It's just the QC needs to be looked at. Anyway, that's that. So pounds sensitivities is fine. If you get any normal gear, you'd have no problems at all. It's not like the new KZ, I think PR2, which is crazy, like insensitive basically. These aren't like that. This is technically normal gear. It's fine. If you got a weak phone, it'll power these without a problem. So timbre of these is not very good. I'll talk about the tuning in a bit, and the overall timbre just isn't very good, which is a bit of a shame. The BAs are probably to blame for that, but yeah, so timbre on these isn't very good. So stage, so Soundstage on these is actually okay, and that's pretty much it. Not much to say really. It's okay because there's some spikes further up. Now, one thing I didn't really like is how clear they are. Like instrument separation, wasn't very good. This should have been clearer. Is probably the best way to describe it. So yeah, instrument separation wasn't that good considering it's a 3 driver, so it's 2 BAs, which you can see. If you can get closer, they're just right there, and obviously the DD's right there. So that's pretty much it for that. So yeah, sound, save a bit of time. I've laid the graph now so you can have a look. Now, bass, as you can see, it is heavier on the bass. They're not bass monsters, but because it bleeds so much into the mid-range, they are muddy, which is a bit of a shame, quite muddy. And because of that, everything has a thicker sound to it. It's not very clear kind of sound. The decay on the DD, the views, is actually okay, but because it just bleeds so much, it just sounds muddy. And that's unfortunately all I can say really. A bit of a disappointing set. Now if it was much closer to the lower mid-range and the upper part where the bass is, the mid-bass towards the top, it would be better, it would be clearer. But because it bleeds so much into the mid-range, as you can see, it's up to like 800 and then it just shoots back up. The mid-range isn't very good, so it's recessed, which is a bit of a shame really. Yeah, so mids, like I just said, recessed. Now, male vocals don't really sound that good because of the really big bleed. Male vocals can sound fine if there's a little bit, but when it bleeds so much, they're not very good. Same for females, really. They're a little bit more prominent males. Again, it depends all on your genre. I listen to electronic music and I like a bit of bass, but I didn't really like the bass on these, especially the mid-range. It's just not very clear. Really, that's what I found. So now to one of the worst parts, unfortunately, is the treble. Now you can see that it shoots up at like 4K, and those peaks are real further up. So what does that mean? It means sibilance. Now again, before I even graphed these and before I even tried it with any music, I thought it sounds. I was just somebody just like normal speaking volume. It sounded really. You could feel it was really sharp. I thought this doesn't sound right at all. Yeah, it's just because of that, the timbre sounds off as well. Now, it's got the peaks in all the wrong places. Like I said, the 8K peaks, they seem to be quite real. I found this set fatiguing and quite unnatural, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah, not much to say really. I was kind of disappointed with this set. It had promise. It just needed, I think, a lot more R&D before release, and then it could have been a decent enough set. But for 30 to 35, with that kind of tuning, with basically muddy low end, recessed mid range, and the sibilant treble, there could have been a bit better. And I think that's pretty much it really. There should have been better. So conclusion is, do I recommend these? No. So apart from the cable issue, some people might not notice that, but it's still not right. Mine might be just the only one on the planet with a problem, but I'm a reviewer who's encountered a problem with it. So, and two, the tuning is not very good. Recessed mids, muddy bass, sibilant treble. There's enough details there sometimes, but it should be clearer. It can be fatiguing. Even at just normal listening volume to like podcasts, it sounds off. The timbre sounds off. And yeah, I'll probably end it there really. Kind of a disappointing set. And I don't really recommend these. Maybe if you do like it a little bit low end, it might work fine for you. But with its current tuning, I didn't really like it for electronic music. I did try it with pop music, and again I didn't really like it with that. And some classical sounded sharp as well. And I did try some other things, but it just didn't sound that great, to be honest. Again, I normally do listen to electronic, and it did have enough slam, but because of the treble, it just sounded off, and it just sounded like a lot of things was missing in the music. And yeah, I'll probably end it there. Yeah, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.